When you remove the noise, when you step away from the distractions, when you allow yourself to sit in silence, you begin to hear something you may not have heard in a long time, your own voice. Not the voice shaped by the opinions of others, not the voice clouded by society's expectations, but the voice that belongs solely to you. This is the voice of your intuition, your inner wisdom, the part of you that knows exactly who you are and what you are meant to do. But most people never hear it because they are too busy drowning in the external world, always seeking validation, always looking for answers outside themselves when everything they need is already within. Silence forces you to face yourself. In a world that constantly demands your attention, where distractions are everywhere, where social media, television, and conversations never stop, it can be uncomfortable to sit in stillness. But that discomfort is where growth happens. When you allow yourself to be alone with your thoughts, you begin to see yourself more clearly. You recognize your patterns, your strengths, your weaknesses. You become aware of the thoughts that drive you, whether they are empowering or limiting. Many people avoid silence because they are afraid of what they might find. They keep themselves busy, always engaged, always running from one thing to the next, because stopping means they have to confront their own reality. But avoiding yourself only delays your growth. The moment you choose to embrace silence, you take the first step toward truly understanding who you are. When you are silent, you stop reacting to everything around you and you start observing. You begin to notice how certain situations make you feel. You start to see which relationships uplift you and which ones drain you. You gain clarity about what you actually want, rather than what the world tells you to want. You start making choices based on your truth, rather than the noise of outside influences. You realize that many of the pressures you feel, the need to prove yourself, the need to be constantly busy, the need to meet unrealistic expectations are not coming from within you, but from external forces trying to shape your identity. Silence gives you the strength to break free from that conditioning and define yourself on your own terms. The beauty of silence is that it allows you to separate what is real from what is an illusion. It reveals the difference between what you truly desire and what you have been conditioned to believe you need. When you embrace silence, you begin to trust yourself more. Your decisions become more aligned with your purpose. You start moving through life with a sense of confidence that doesn't need validation from anyone else. You no longer look for permission to be who you are, you simply become. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space where transformation happens. It is the foundation upon which you build a life that is not controlled by others but directed by your own inner truth. People are drawn to mystery. The ones who speak the loudest, who always demand attention, who constantly feel the need to prove something, often become background noise. They fade into the chaos of the world, their voices blending into the countless others who are trying too hard to be seen. But the person who moves in silence, who carries themselves with quiet confidence, who speaks only when necessary, those are the ones who command true attention. Their words carry weight because they are not wasted. Their presence is felt even when they are not speaking. Silence has a way of making people wonder, making them lean in, making them pay closer attention. When you don't reveal everything about yourself, when you don't constantly try to impress or force your presence into every conversation, people start to notice you differently. They become curious. They begin to listen more carefully when you do choose to speak, because they know that when you do, it matters. That kind of presence, one that doesn't beg for attention but naturally commands it, is powerful. It's the kind of energy that leaders, visionaries, and truly confident people carry. People respect what they don't fully understand. When you speak less, when you don't feel the need to constantly explain yourself or prove your worth, others begin to see you differently. They wonder about your thoughts, your perspective, your next move. And that curiosity gives you an advantage. It allows you to hold the power in conversations and negotiations and relationships. When people don't know what you're thinking, they can't predict your next step. When you're silent, you control the flow of energy in any room you enter. There's a reason why the strongest people are often the quietest. It's not because they have nothing to say, but because they have nothing to prove. They don't need to be the loudest in the room to be the most respected. Their presence alone speaks for them. Their actions carry more weight than their words. They understand that true confidence isn't about constantly talking, it's about knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the work. Silence also gives people the chance to reflect on what you say. If you speak too much, your words lose impact. But if you know how to pause, how to let your words settle, how to allow silence to fill the spaces between your thoughts, people will remember what you say. They will respect it more. They will carry your words with them, because they weren't just another stream of noise in an already noisy world. The greatest leaders, the most influential figures, the people who make the deepest impact all have one thing in common: they don't waste words. They understand the value of silence. They know that sometimes saying nothing at all is more powerful than saying everything. Because when you stay silent, people have no choice but to pay attention when you finally decide to speak. When you stay silent, you see things others miss. The world is full of noise, people talking over each other, rushing to get their opinions heard, desperate to prove a point. But while they're too busy speaking, they're not paying attention. They're missing details, missing emotions, missing the truth that isn't always spoken out loud. Silence gives you an advantage because it allows you to observe, to analyze, to understand the world and the people around you on a deeper level. When you walk into a room and choose to listen instead of speak, you start to notice things. You see the way people interact, the way they react, the subtle shifts in their tone, their body language, their energy. You hear what is being said, but more importantly, you notice what is not being said. People reveal more in their silences than they do in their words. When you're too focused on talking, you miss these unspoken truths. But when you choose to observe, you gain insight into who people really are, how they feel, and what they truly mean. Observation is a skill that separates those who move blindly through life from those who understand the game being played around them. The person who listens more than they speak has an advantage in every situation, whether in business, in relationships, or in life itself. In a negotiation, the one who speaks the least often holds the most power. They let the other person reveal their thoughts, their weaknesses, their emotions, while they gather information. In a conversation, the one who listens closely can detect what the other person truly feels beneath the surface. They can pick up on insecurities, fears, motivations, all without saying a word. Most people underestimate the power of silence because they confuse talking with control. They believe that the one doing the most talking is the one leading the conversation. But true control belongs to the one who listens, to the one who observes, to the one who understands the full picture before making a move. The person who is constantly talking gives away too many thoughts, too many emotions, too much of themselves. But the person who stays quiet collects knowledge. They process, they strategize. They move with purpose instead of impulse. Being silent doesn't mean being passive. It doesn't mean you don't have anything to say or that you allow others to dominate the conversation. It means you choose your words wisely. It means you take the time to understand before you react. It means you wait until the right moment to speak so that when you do, your words carry weight. People listen to those who rarely speak because they know that when they do, it matters. Silence is not just about hearing words. It's about reading the energy in the room, the intentions behind the words, the truth hidden beneath the surface. Those who learn to observe instead of always speaking put themselves in a position of power. Because when you truly understand people, you know exactly how to move. Not everything in life deserves a reaction. There will always be people who try to provoke you, who seek to pull you into negativity, who thrive on arguments, conflict, and unnecessary drama. When you engage with every insult, every disagreement, every negative energy thrown your way, you give away your peace. You let others control your emotions, dictate your energy, and pull you into battles that serve no purpose. But when you learn the power of silence, you protect yourself from these distractions. You keep your focus where it belongs, on your growth, your goals, and your peace of mind. Silence is not weakness. In fact, it is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. It takes discipline to walk away when someone is trying to get a reaction out of you. It takes confidence to know that you don't need to prove yourself in every situation. Weak people respond to everything. They argue, wait to be right. They waste time defending themselves. They let their emotions be controlled by others. But strong people, they understand that silence is a choice to rise above pettiness, to maintain self-control, and to refuse to let anyone disturb their inner peace. When you respond to negativity, you give it power. You feed into it. You allow it to take up space in your mind and your emotions. But when you remain silent, when you don't react, when you don't engage, negativity loses its grip. People who try to provoke you eventually grow tired when they see that their words, their actions, their attempts to shake you don't work. They realize they hold no power over you, and that is when you win. Because true power is not in how loudly you argue or how quickly you respond. It is in how unshakable you remain in the face of chaos. Your energy is valuable. Every time you waste it on meaningless arguments, on responding to people who don't deserve your time, on proving yourself to those who will never understand you, drain yourself. That energy could have been spent on building something for yourself, on working toward your goals, on creating something meaningful. You can't afford to waste your strength on every little battle. Not every insult needs an answer. Not every comment deserves a reply. Not every fight is worth fighting. Silence is also a way of setting boundaries. When people realize that they can't get a reaction out of you, they stop trying. When they see that their words don't shake you, they back off. When they learn that you don't entertain nonsense, they respect your space. Your silence teaches people how to treat you. It shows them that you are not someone who can be easily manipulated, that you value your peace more than proving a point. And when you hold on to that, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of unnecessary conflict. Because real strength is knowing when to speak and when to walk away. When you stop chasing, the right things start finding you. People spend so much of their lives running after things, opportunities, relationships, success, believing that the harder they push, the faster they will get what they want. But there is a different kind of power in patience and stillness, in trusting that what is meant for you will come at the right time. Desperation pushes things away. It creates anxiety, frustration, and the illusion that you need to force things to happen. But silence, stillness, and quiet confidence attract the right opportunities without unnecessary struggle. There is a natural flow to life. When you are constantly chasing, you often end up running past the very things that were meant for you. You settle for less because you are too impatient to wait for better. You force relationships that were never meant to last. You take jobs that don't align with your purpose. But when you learn to trust the process, to stay silent, and focus instead of panning and forcing, life begins to work in your favor. The opportunities that are right for you come naturally. The people who are supposed to be in your life gravitate toward you. The doors that are truly meant to open do so without you having to break them down. Silence and patience give you time to prepare. If something is meant for you but you are not ready for it, you will lose it just as quickly as it arrives. Many people rush into things without developing the discipline, wisdom, or skill needed to handle what they are chasing. But when you learn to be still, to trust, and to work in silence, you become stronger. You develop yourself so that when the right opportunity does come, you are not just ready for it, you are built for it. The most successful people understand this. They don't rush. They don't panic. They trust that what is theirs will come. And in the meantime, they prepare. People can sense desperation. They can feel when you are trying too hard, when you are seeking validation, when you are chasing something that isn't chasing you back. But confidence, especially quiet confidence, draws people in. It tells the world, I don't need to force anything. I know my worth. I know my time will come. And that energy is magnetic. It makes people want to work with you, respect you, be around you. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who is secure enough to trust the timing of their life. Sometimes the best move you can make is no move at all. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay silent, stay patient, and trust that the right things are aligning for you. The things that are truly meant for you will never pass you by. But if you chase the wrong things, you will miss out on what is already making its way toward you. When you stop forcing, stop rushing, and stop doubting, you allow life to unfold in the way it was always meant to.